If you ever search for a small phone, you'll quickly realize that small doesn't mean small anymore. Gone are the days when something is truly one-handed friendly, but there are still a few gems out there if you look hard enough. That's why in this video, I've done the research and found 21 compact phones that are actually small. And make sure to stick around until the end because the last pick might surprise you. And if you're interested in any of these compact phones, I'll leave links to them in the description below. Number 21 is the iPhone SE 3rd generation, which is the most budget-friendly iPhone on our list. Now, I know the 4th generation already came out, but since that one's over 6 inches, I didn't want to include it in this video. So this 3rd generation has a 4.7-inch Retina HD display, which means it won't feel bulky in your hand. And even with those chunky top and bottom bezels, the frame stays thin and gives it a lighter feel. This is also the last iPhone that comes with a physical home button. So you're getting Touch ID, which most people prefer, over the typical Face ID anyway. Under the hood, it comes with an A15 Bionic processor, which may not be the latest in Apple's lineup, but it still outshines many mid-range phones. This allows it to have Smart HDR4 and Deep Fusion, which is usually reserved for pricier models. And this basically means whenever you take a picture, nothing's blown out, which is pretty impressive considering you're only getting a single 12-megapixel rear sensor that also lets you shoot in 4K up to 60 frames per second. Battery life also isn't going to be a concern, considering it's rated for up to 15 hours of video playback. And even if you use this iPhone SE heavily, it should still last you the whole day. There's also wireless charging, but don't expect super fast speeds like with wired charging. You're only getting 7.5 watts versus the 20 watts when plugged into the wall. Now, before we move on to the next compact phone, I think it's important to let you know about software support. Apple usually gives you 7 years of support. So that means if you get this iPhone today, you can still expect updates until 2029. Number 20 is the Modular Compact, which is the most minimalist compact phone on our list. And this is going to be great if you're someone who's addicted to your phone and needs a social media detox. The screen on this phone is going to be even smaller at 4.3 inches. And what makes this unique is that it's completely e-ink, just like on a Kindle, so it's less distracting. And because of this, you can also expect insane battery life of up to 6 days. You get the basics with this phone, including the ability to make calls, send texts, use offline maps, and play music. But if you really want, you can always download other apps manually. You'll get more privacy too. It has a hardware switch that turns off microphones, cellular radios, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and the camera completely. Now you can download apps on your Android or iPhone that can do the same functions, but those use software, while the hardware switch ensures a full power shutdown for these parts. For a basic phone, it feels like a premium device. It has rounded edges and a thicker 12.6mm body. Plus, the design even won the 2025 IF and Red Dot Awards. And if you're wondering, the documents scanned with the camera look normal on a laptop or another phone. They don't appear monochrome like they do on the phone. The same goes for pictures. Number 19 is the Asus Zenfone 10, which has the best screen resolution for a compact Android on our list. It's a couple of years old and has a 5.9-inch display, which is bigger than the previous two. But I included this phone for its Full HD Plus AMOLED panel, which has a pixel density of 446 pixels per inch. This means you get more pixels in a smaller area, resulting in a higher resolution. On top of that, you get a refresh rate of 144 Hz, which makes the animations feel smoother. And if you're a gamer, you'll appreciate the quick response time. Under the hood, it comes with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, up to 16 GB of RAM, and 512 GB of storage. So it's snappier and can handle heavy workloads while still being less than 6 inches corner to corner. Speed aside, the Zenfone 10 also has a camera setup that's better than the previous two phones. You get a 50-megapixel main camera with gimbal stabilization. So even if you're running, your videos will be smooth without the shakiness. You also get a second 13-megapixel ultra-wide lens that handles group shots, and a 32-megapixel selfie camera, which uses pixel binning so your night shots are brighter and look great for social media. So if you want a smooth screen and a top-notch processor, the Zenfone 10 is perfect. It's easy to use without needing to stretch your thumb across a large tablet. And if you plan on buying any of these phones, make sure to check our links below for the best prices. This way, I get a small commission while the price remains the same for you, which supports our team in making more of these videos. Also, if you enjoy our content, a sub to the channel would be appreciated. Number 18 is the iPhone 13 mini, which is the best performing compact iPhone on our list. This phone measures only 5.4 inches, but it has the same A15 Bionic chip as the 13 Pro, so its performance is nearly the same as the larger model. Though it's older, I chose it because it's the last mini phone in the iPhone lineup. Plus, you'll be getting a better build quality than the iPhone SE 3rd generation. It has a ceramic shield front glass, aluminum rails, and is rated for 60 meters of water resistance. This means it can withstand drops and rain better than many rugged phones. You can also use it outdoors in daylight. The Super Retina display features 476 pixels per inch and reaches a peak brightness of 831 nits. Battery-wise, it holds its ground. Apple upgraded to a larger 2,400 mAh battery compared to the 2,200 mAh battery in the 12 mini. Plus, real-world tests show that this phone also lasts longer than the iPhone SE 3rd generation. Now, iPhone never goes wrong with the cameras, and the same is the case with this phone. You'll find a 12-megapixel main lens along with a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens. This ultra-wide captures some of the broadest angles available in any phone. The night mode kicks in automatically, and you can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second with Dolby Vision. Overall, if you want a snappy feel, security updates, and good resale value, the 13 mini is unmatched. It offers top performance in a small size. Number 17 is the iKKO WP32, and it's the best rugged compact phone on our list. I picked it for its full-day power and tough build, all in a body under 6 inches. First, let's talk about the 5.93-inch HD Plus display. It's only 720 by 1440 pixels. But this lower resolution lets the Unisoc T606 octa-core chip run smoothly while saving power. The screen is also bright enough for job site checklists and won't look too bulky in your pocket. This phone has both IP68 and IP69K ratings, which means it can withstand dust, rain, and high-pressure water with ease, while the reinforced corners can handle concrete impacts from about 1.5 meters. As you can see, it's not usually a slim phone, but that's because iKKO fits a 6,300 mAh battery inside. That gives you 2 to 3 days of light use or a full 12-hour shift with GPS, Bluetooth, and the flashlight on. And if you want to charge another phone with it, it even supports OTG reverse charging, so it also works as a power bank. For daily tasks, you get 4 GB of physical RAM and 128 GB of storage. Plus, there's a micro SD slot supporting up to 1 TB. This is great if you want to load offline maps or inspection photos from your workstation. Speaking of photos, the 20-megapixel Samsung sensor on the back captures clear shots in 1080p at 30 frames per second, and the 5-megapixel front camera is great for quick video calls from the field. So, if you're looking for a compact yet tough phone, the WP32 is the best pick. Number 16 is the Unihertz Jellystar, which is the smallest Android I could find on the internet. This phone is barely the length of a credit card, thanks to a 3-inch display that makes even the iPhone SE look huge. Under the hood, you get the MediaTek Helio G99 processor, 8 GB of RAM, and 256 GB of storage. On the back of the phone, you can see the circuit board and frames through the transparent cover. And despite its small 2,000 mAh battery, the efficient chip and the small screen size mean you can expect a full day of light use. Camera quality is also more than what you'd expect from such a tiny thing. The 48-megapixel sensor lets you capture solid-looking pics, especially in daylight. However, it does struggle in low light. Nighttime pics are passable if you have a steady hand, but they're nowhere near the quality of flagship phones. You do get some premium features such as NFC for tap to pay and an infrared blaster that controls TVs and air conditioners so you can use it as a universal remote. And when you want to connect your service, you get 2 nano SIM slots. So you can either have 2 SIMs or use 1 SIM and the extra slot for extra storage with an SD card. Plus, Unihertz somehow even fitted a 3.5mm audio jack into it, and even FM radio. It's running Android 13 with Google certification, so every Play Store app installs normally. Just remember, the keyboard keys are small, so you'll probably use voice to text more often. So if you want the smallest phone that you can use as a backup, then the Jelly Star is worth getting. Number 15 on our list is the Ulefone Armor Mini 20T Pro, a compact tank of a phone built for the toughest environments. It may be credit card size, but don't mistake its size for weakness. This rugged Android 14 smartphone is engineered for serious field use and everyday reliability. The 4.7-inch HD Plus display is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus, while the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 chipset and 8GB of RAM, expandable to 16GB with virtual memory, handle your apps with ease. You also get 256GB of onboard storage, expandable up to 2TB via microSD-XC. That's more than enough space for photos, videos, and even job site data. The phone runs on a massive 6,200 mAh battery, giving you up to 14 days of light use. It charges fast with 33-watt wired charging, supports 15-watt wireless charging, and can even reverse charge other devices. If you need to see in the dark or troubleshoot overheating equipment, the built-in thermal imaging camera has you covered. And with an IP68/IP69 K rating and MyL STD 810H certification, this thing's practically indestructible. Other highlights include a 50-megapixel plus 64-megapixel rear camera setup, a 32-megapixel front camera, 500-lumen adjustable LED lighting, and a red-blue warning light. Plus, there's Android 14 with advanced privacy features, a rear body cam mount option, and full 5G connectivity, minus a few carriers like Verizon and AT&T. Tough, smart, and incredibly portable. The Ulefone Armor Mini 20T Pro is the best rugged Android phone you can fit in the palm of your hand. Number 14 on our list is the iKKO Mind 1, a compact Android device that looks like it time-traveled from the future and brought a few tricks with it. With a 4.02-inch AMOLED display and a flip-around 50-megapixel Sony camera, this phone is all about doing more with less space. That camera is mounted on a 180-degree hinge, so it works as both a front and rear shooter. Whether you're snapping selfies or filming content, it's always ready, and stabilized with optical image stabilization, OIS, to keep things sharp. While detailed specs are still under wraps, early info suggests it'll come with 8GB RAM, 256GB storage, and a 2,200 mAh battery. Solid specs for a device this small. The iKKO Mind 1 runs on Android 15 and introduces iKKO AI OS, a custom interface designed to be simple, smart, and optimized for the small, squarish screen. From personalized AI-generated podcasts to voice-powered tools and photo recognition, this phone wants to be your pocket-sized digital assistant. And then there's the wildest feature: free built-in global internet for all AI tools. No SIM card or Wi-Fi required. It's supposed to connect automatically in over 60 countries. Between its innovative design, surprising power, and AI-first experience, the iKKO Mind 1 stands out as the best AI compact phone of 2025. Number 13 on our list is the Unihertz Jelly Max, a compact Android phone that manages to balance daily usability with flagship-level performance without taking up your whole pocket. It features a 5.05-inch display, which is small by today's standards, but big enough to comfortably text, scroll, and stream without squinting. Under the hood, it's powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 processor, backed by 12GB of RAM and 256GB of UFS 3.1 storage. That's more power and speed than you'll find in some full-size phones. Whether you're running multiple apps or gaming on the go, this phone can keep up. The 100-megapixel main camera might sound like overkill for a tiny phone, but it delivers detailed shots with surprisingly solid dynamic range. The 32-megapixel front camera is no slouch either, giving you crisp selfies and clear video calls. And thanks to the 4,000 mAh battery and 66-watt fast charging, you won't be stuck waiting around for power. Running Android 14 out of the box, it supports all the latest features, plus 5G NFC, Wi-Fi AX, Bluetooth 5.4, and even an IR blaster for controlling devices around the house. If you want a small phone that's genuinely usable all day, every day, with no major compromises, the Unihertz Jelly Max is the one to beat. Number 12 on our list is the BlueFox NX1. A compact Android phone that keeps things small, affordable, and surprisingly capable. With a 4-inch LCD display, this device feels like a throwback, but with modern specs that make it anything but outdated. It runs on a MediaTek Helio G81 processor, with options for either 4GB or 8GB of RAM, and 64GB or 128GB of internal storage. That storage is also expandable up to a massive 2TB via microSD, so you're not sacrificing space just to go small. The 21-megapixel rear camera uses Sony's IMX230 sensor, delivering sharper than expected photos for a budget device. Up front, you get a modest 5-megapixel selfie camera. The 3000 mAh battery is decent for a phone this size and charges via USB Type-C at 10 watts. Not blazing fast, but acceptable at this price point. It also throws in some bonuses rarely seen at this tier: an IR blaster, Android 15, and dual SIM support. All packed into a body that weighs just 106 grams and slips easily into even the tiniest pockets. For users who want a no-fuss, low-cost, truly pocketable Android experience, the BlueFox NX1 is a standout option. Number 11 on our list is the Doogee S Mini. A tough, compact Android phone built for users who need a rugged device without the bulk. Despite its meaty feature set, this phone keeps things pocketable with a 4.5-inch QHD plus IPS display and a width that's close to a credit card. Inside, it's powered by a MediaTek Helio G99 processor and offers 8GB of RAM with an option to virtually expand up to 15GB. You also get 256GB of internal storage, expandable up to 2TB, plenty of room for media, apps, and offline maps. What really sets this one apart is its durability. With IP68/IP69K ratings and MilSTD 810H certification, it's built to survive drops, water, dust, and the elements. There's also a rear display for quick glances at the time, battery, and notifications without waking the main screen. You get a solid 50-megapixel main camera, an 8-megapixel selfie camera, and a 2-megapixel macro lens. The 3000 mAh battery supports 18-watt fast charging, and Android 13 keeps everything running smooth. And here's a bonus! It also has NFC, dual SIM support, a fingerprint reader, and a Type-C port. If you want one of the smallest Android phones around that can take a serious beating, the Doogee S Mini is the perfect match. Number 10 on the list is the Google Pixel 9a, which is the best value and budget compact smartphone. The Pixel 9a delivers the classic Pixel experience without draining your wallet. With its 6.3-inch AQOO display and smooth 120Hz refresh rate, it feels premium while still staying in the compact range. Under the hood, it's powered by Google's Tensor G4 chip with 8GB of RAM, which makes everything from multitasking to AI-powered features like Gemini feel quick and responsive. The camera is where this phone really shines. You get a 48-megapixel main lens and 13-megapixel ultra-wide, with AI photo tools like Best Take and Macro Focus. Night sight and astrophotography also make low-light shots look incredible, something most budget phones can't match. Battery life is another strong point. The 5100 mAh battery lasts well over a day, and with extreme battery saver, you can push it to 100 hours. Add in IP68 water resistance, wireless charging, and 7 years of OS updates, and you've got a phone that punches way above its price. If you want the best balance of size, features, and price, the Pixel 9a is the small phone to beat. Number 9 on our list is the Lite Phone 3, which is best for digital minimalism. If you're tired of endless notifications, addictive apps, and screen time spirals, the Lite Phone 3 is designed to bring you back to basics. It keeps the essentials, calls, text, navigation, and simple tools like calendar or music, while stripping away the noise. The idea is simple. Your phone should serve you, not the other way around. The Lite Phone 3 is compact, with a 3.9-inch OLED display, aluminum frame, and a matte black finish that feels sleek without being flashy. Unlike its e-ink predecessors, this version uses a crisp OLED panel, making it easier to read in any lighting. Inside, you get 4G and 5G support, along with a surprisingly decent dual-camera setup, front and rear, for quick snapshots. The 2000 mAh battery might sound small, but because the phone is so lightweight in software, it can last days on a charge. It runs a custom Light OS, meaning no app store, no social media feeds, and no distractions. Instead, you can add only the tools you need, like directions, notes, or a podcast player. For anyone who wants to downsize their digital life without giving up basic smartphone functionality, the Lite Phone 3 is a perfect minimalist companion. Number 8 on our list is the Motorola Razr 50 Ultra, which is best for style and usability in a flip phone. The Razr 50 Ultra takes the retro charm of the classic Razr and makes it modern, with a 6.9-inch foldable display inside and one of the biggest cover screens you'll find on a flip phone. That outer display isn't just for notifications. You can run full apps, reply to messages, or even frame selfies without opening the phone. Powered by the latest Snapdragon chip and backed with 12 GB of RAM, performance feels smooth whether you're multitasking or gaming. The dual 50-megapixel rear cameras give you plenty of flexibility, while the 32-megapixel front camera handles social-ready selfies with ease. What sets it apart is the design. The Razr 50 Ultra is slim, stylish, and available in unique finishes like soft vegan leather. It's also surprisingly durable with IPX8 water resistance and Gorilla Glass protection. If you want a compact phone that looks as good as it performs and folds neatly into your pocket, this is the most user-friendly flip option on the market. Number 7 on our list is the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7, which is best for a refined flip experience. Samsung has been perfecting the flip for years, and the Z Flip 7 feels like the most polished version yet. Its 6.9-inch AMOLED display is smooth and vibrant, and the redesigned cover screen is now larger and more useful, letting you check messages, run widgets, or even control apps without unfolding the phone. The camera system has been upgraded with a 50-megapixel main sensor, paired with Samsung's nightography software for clearer shots in low light. FlexCam mode also makes it easy to take hands-free selfies or group photos from creative angles. Performance is backed by a Snapdragon 8 Elite chip and 12 GB of RAM, so everything from multitasking to gaming runs effortlessly. And thanks to Samsung's premium armor aluminum frame and improved water and dust resistance, the Z Flip 7 is tougher than it looks. For anyone who wants a stylish, compact flip phone with Samsung's proven ecosystem and years of software updates, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 is the safest bet. Number 6 on our list is the Samsung Galaxy S25, which is best for anyone who wants a compact phone without giving up flagship power. With its 6.2-inch AMOLED display, the S25 stays pocket-friendly while still delivering a premium viewing experience. Colors are rich, brightness is strong enough for outdoor use, and the 120Hz refresh rate makes scrolling and gaming feel buttery smooth. It's a phone that proves small doesn't have to mean compromised. Inside, it's powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor and 12 GB of RAM, making it one of the most powerful compact Androids you can buy. Whether you're editing photos, running multiple apps, or diving into graphically intense games, the S25 keeps up without breaking a sweat. The camera setup is equally impressive, led by a 50-megapixel main sensor that captures vibrant detail, even in low light thanks to Samsung's latest AI-powered night video mode. Paired with a versatile ultra-wide and telephoto, you're getting the same pro-level experience found on larger flagships, but in a more manageable size. Samsung also doubled down on durability and longevity. The S25 comes with IP68 water and dust resistance, Gorilla Glass protection, and the promise of 7 years of software updates, a level of support that rivals Google's Pixel lineup. And with an all-day battery, fast-wired charging, and wireless charging support, you're covered on every front. For users who want the absolute best balance of size, performance, and long-term support, the Galaxy S25 stands as the top choice in 2025's compact Android market. Number 5 on the list is the Fairphone 6, which is the best modular phone, and basically the poster child for sustainability in tech. Unlike most compact phones designed to be tossed every few years, Fairphone's approach is to build something you can actually keep. It's modular, so if the screen cracks, the battery gives out, or the charging port decides to retire, you don't need a shop. You grab a screwdriver, swap the part, and you're done. iFixit gave it a 10 out of 10 for repairability, and the parts are sold directly on their site. I like that it makes fixing a phone feel almost as normal as changing a case. Minus the swearing when you drop a tiny screw. Size-wise, it has a 6.3-inch OLED with a 120Hz display. On paper, that doesn't scream tiny, but slimmer bezels and a lighter frame make it easier to handle than older Fairphones. The screen's protected by Gorilla Glass 70 and hits 1,400 nits peak brightness, so it finally feels modern. Inside, you're getting a Snapdragon 7S Gen 3, 8GB RAM, and 256GB storage with microSD support. It's not chasing flagship performance, but from what I've seen, it handles day-to-day use without stutter. The 4,415 mAh battery isn't massive, yet with the efficient chip and OLED panel, it should be more than enough for a full day. For cameras, you've got a 50-megapixel Sony main sensor and a 13-megapixel ultra-wide that doubles as a macro. Shots are fine for socials and everyday use. Not iPhone or Pixel level, but more than good enough. What makes the Fairphone 6 stand out is support. 7 Android version updates, 8 years of security patches, and a 5-year warranty. I think that alone makes it one of the most future-proof compact phones, especially when you add the recycled materials and fair labor sourcing. Number 4 on the list is the Samsung Galaxy A26 5G, which is the best for the Samsung ecosystem. If you're already living the Samsung life with Galaxy Buds, Galaxy Watch, and smart things at home, the A26 slides right in without breaking the bank. What's new, and frankly surprising this year, is how much Big Brother tech trickled down. You're getting a glass back instead of plastic, plus Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on both sides. At this price, that's kind of wild. In the hand, it feels properly premium. Yes, the screen grew to 6.7 inches. Don't panic. The phone stays thin, balanced, and easy to hold. It's tough too. IP67 water and dust resistance for the toss it in your bag and don't worry kind of confidence. The display is classic Samsung, Super AMO LED 120Hz. Punchy colors, smooth scrolling, and easy on the eyes. It's not adaptive, it's just fast all the time. For swiping, streaming, and doom scrolling you're trying to do less of, that's plenty. Software is a legit win. Android 15 with One UI 7 out of the box, and Samsung promises 6 OS updates plus 6 years of security patches. Buy it, keep it, breathe. You also get microSD on top of 128 or 256 gigabytes. This comes with a 50-megapixel main with OIS for sharp, steady shots, an ultra-wide for group stuff and big scenes, and a 13-megapixel selfie that flatters without getting cartoonish. Video goes up to 4K on the main cam, and 1080p stabilization keeps your clips watchable, not found footage, shaky. Is it tiny? No. But with the glass build, IP67 rating, long updates, MSDR, and seamless Galaxy tie-ins, the A26 5G feels premium where it matters, without asking you to leave the ecosystem you already love. Number 3 on the list is the iQOO Z10 Lite, which is the best simple design phone. The Z10 Lite has that simple, no-nonsense look and backs it up with serious toughness. SGS 5-star anti-fall, MIL STD 810H IP64. So everyday drops and a little rain won't ruin your day. The headline feature is the 6,000 mAh battery. With typical use, you're looking at multi-day endurance. That's the kind of battery life you notice when you forget to charge, and it just doesn't matter. There's a 15-watt charger in the box plus a case and cable, so you're not hunting accessories on day one. The display is a 6.74-inch 90Hz LCD up to 1000 nits. Indoors it's perfectly fine, and 90Hz keeps everything responsive. You also get a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is pretty rare nowadays, and a side-mounted fingerprint reader. Under the hood, MediaTek Dimensity 6300 with up to 8GB RAM keeps daily use smooth, with RAM management on point. Casual gaming holds up well, and FunTouch OS 15 adds plenty of customization. You get 2 years of OS plus 3 years of security updates and removable bloat to keep things tidy. And let's not forget that this phone Aslo has dual SIM plus micro SD. Cameras are straightforward, 50 megapixel main plus depth, with clean portrait edges and usable close-ups. It's not trying to be a camera champ, it's aiming to be reliable, durable, and long-lasting. And if that's your checklist, you can't go wrong with the Z10 Lite. Number 2 on the list is the Motorola Edge 60 Fusion, which is the best value. The slim, curved frame and grippy vegan leather back make one-hand use easy. It's light with tiny bezels, so it carries smaller than most 6.7-inch phones. I like the toughness story. Gorilla Glass 7 eye on the front, IP68/IP69 seals, plus MILS TD810H style ruggedization. You'll also get some nice upgrades like eSIM, 256 or 512 gigabytes on board, and micro SD expansion. The screen's a treat for the price. A 6.67-inch 1220p OLED, 120 Hz, HDR10+. It's bright, colorful, and the stereo speakers support Dolby Atmos for sound. Under the hood, you're looking at MediaTek Dimensity 7300 or 7400 in some regions, with 8 GB RAM. Battery life is a highlight, 5,200 to 5,500 mAh depending on market, and 68-watt fast charging to top up quickly. Cameras keep it clean and competent with a 50-megapixel main, Sony IMX896, that favors realistic tones, a 13-megapixel ultrawide with autofocus that doubles as a macro, and a sharp 32-megapixel selfie, plus 4K video on all three. I appreciate the software staying tidy on Android 15 with Moto gestures, Smart Connect, and the new Moto AI bits like Remember This and Update Me for quick summaries and saves. Motorola promises 3 OS upgrades and 4 years of security patches, which hits a longevity sweet spot. But there are a few RI trade-offs such as no wireless charging, and the chipset isn't a hardcore gaming rig. But if you're chasing balanced specs, durability, and value at a friendly price, this one's easy to recommend. Number 1 on the list is the Xiaomi 15, which is the best premium features phone. The tidy 6.36-inch flat display, razor-thin bezels, sub-200 gram weight, and squared sides make it an easy one-hander. I like that Xiaomi keeps it tough. Shield glass front/back, IP68, and an ultrasonic fingerprint reader that stays quick even with damp fingers. The screen is flagship grade, a 1200p OLED with LTPO 1 to 120 Hz, super high brightness, HDR10+, and Dolby Vision. Stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos rounded out for movies and music. Power isn't a worry, Snapdragon 8. Elite with roomy RAM options and a genuinely big battery for a compact, 5,240 mAh. China gets 5,400. You still get 90 watts wired and 50 watts wireless charging for fast top-ups. Cameras lean Leica. 50 megapixel main, Light Fusion 900, 50 megapixel 2.6 times tele, Samsung GN5, and 50 megapixel ultrawide, JN1. The color vibes, authentic versus vibrant, are fun. Portraits pop with solid subject separation. And you've got 8K/4K video plus a crisp 32 MP selfie that can shoot 4K HDR. I also like the built-in editing tools and AI upscaling/expand features for social crops. HyperOS 2 is feature-rich and smooth, but can show ads and has occasional UI quirks. Still, the day-to-day experience feels premium, battery endurance is strong, and the camera experience is creative and rewarding. Not the cheapest, but if your budget stretches and you want a compact flagship that feels no compromise, this is the one I'd point you to. And that's it for today. I hope this video helped you find the best budget compact phones. If you want to check out any of the ones I mentioned, I'll drop links to the latest pricing in the top comment. And hey, if this helped even a little, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if you like this video, YouTube thinks you'll like this one next. Thanks for watching.